Gets the ball, puts up a three-pointer. Bang! Steph Curry nails the three-pointer!
In every sport, there are certain athletes who seem to have a cheat code. They are simply dominant. And aside from being strong, fast, and hardworking, there are still elusive qualities that they have that leaves the rest of their competition still a level below, trying to grasp at their greatness. I've been lucky enough to be around a ton of top-level athletes and to compete at the highest levels myself. And I've discovered that those elusive qualities that help the GOATs to play on easy mode can also be used to help the rest of us find more success in our own lives and in our journeys towards financial freedom. Before my college career ended with a torn ACL, Steph Curry and his Splash Brothers were making noise in Golden State, and I was across the bay playing at Stanford. And luckily for me, the Warriors would sometimes come use our practice facility, and I may have skipped a class or two to watch them and even grab some pictures with the guys. And everything that you've heard about Steph Curry is true. He's super nice and down to earth. He was the last person to stop shooting and leave the gym, and he's not very tall or physically imposing like some other NBA players. And yet, if anyone is having fun and playing with a cheat code while on the court, it's Steph. And one of the keys to Steph being so successful, despite being so different from the typical NBA player, is just that. He's different, and he's embraced it. Some players thrive from being super serious on the court. He embraces playing with joy. And even back when him and his brother were in elementary school, their dad embraced the idea of them being different. While everyone else was playing AAU and traveling the country to show their skills off to college coaches, they were at home working on those skills. And Steph's often shared the story of how his shooting form was actually so bad that his dad made him start over from scratch with a brand new shooting technique. And for weeks, Steph wasn't allowed to stand more than just a couple of steps away from the basket while he mastered it. He said that he hated this new form and missing shots so much that he would literally cry during those practice sessions. And yet, he's now the greatest shooter to have ever lived. We have to embrace the idea that all of our paths will be different. And I get trapped in this too because there are tons of successful people out there that I look up to, that I watch here on YouTube, but no two people's journey is going to be the same. And to be honest, most of us are not even on the journey. We're not even in the game. We're busy watching from the sidelines, trying to figure out how we can play exactly like someone else, rather than just getting out there and doing what works for us. Let's take LeBron, for example. Although him and Steph were actually born in the same hospital, their high school journeys couldn't have been any more different. While Steph was starting his shot form over and working on his game in private, LeBron was the most hyped, most publicized high schooler probably ever. From magazine covers to jam-packed gyms, LeBron has been in the spotlight, embracing pressure from the very beginning. And although you and I will probably never know that level of pressure, we do still have a form of it. I'm sure you could think of something right now that puts an uncomfortable feeling in your stomach. Maybe it's a big goal that you have that you don't feel like you've done enough to reach, or maybe you're ready to make an offer on a property or release a YouTube video or ask for a raise at work, but you just can't get yourself to hit send. For a lot of people, pressure makes them freeze, like a deer in headlights. But here's a cheat code that LeBron has obviously figured out. The alternative is no better. Imagine a life without pressure. You wake up and there's nothing you're excited about. You eat breakfast, you get dressed, and then you go to work where there's nothing you're excited about. Because today will be the same as yesterday. There will be no ups, no big moments of achievement, and there will be no downs. So nothing really to worry about, no failures. You'll go home, but there's no excitement there either, because there's no pressure. You're not working towards anything. So with nothing to strive for, there's nothing to make it all worth it. Sitting on the sidelines is the alternative to embracing the pressure, and it's a worse life to lead. Whatever it is that keeps you up at night or makes your stomach feel funny when you think about it, be like LeBron. Embrace the pressure, go out there, do your best to be great, and see what happens. Next up, we've got Michael Phelps. And just like LeBron, he is a physical freak of nature. I remember watching the Olympics back when he was in his prime and how they'd break down all of the physical advantages that Michael Phelps had over the competition. Like how even though he's 6'4" tall, he has the torso of a man who's 6'8" and the legs of a man who's just 6 foot. So basically the perfect swimmer's body. He also produces less lactic acid while working out, which is what makes your muscles burn and feel fatigued as you exert yourself. And on top of that, he has double the lung capacity of the average adult man, meaning he had to turn his head to breathe less often during races, allowing him to focus on speed and efficiency. But if he was just born with a body that allows him to play on easy mode, how does that help the rest of us? First, there's some advantage which you also have, and it's your switch to get into easy mode. Maybe you're a really good networker and you can walk up and make conversation with anyone. My dad's like that. I'm not. Maybe you're great at math or seeing patterns and setting up systems. We all have some type of unfair advantage, something that's easy for us, but probably more difficult for other people. We just have to figure out how to use it. If Michael Phelps had decided to be an offensive lineman in the NFL, he would have been working against those natural advantages. But as a swimmer, he was putting them to their absolute best use. And from there, it's gonna sound cliche, but once you've got your unfair advantage, you only get to the GOAT status when you pair that with the work. Michael Phelps famously swam at least 5 miles a day, at least 6 days a week for 20 years straight. That included birthdays, Christmas, prom. It didn't matter. When you combine that unfair advantage with an insane work ethic, no one can reach you. But even then, it won't always work out. Serena Williams is one of my favorite athletes of all time, partly because of how resilient she is. Back in 2004, Serena was playing in the quarterfinals of the US Open when the entire match started to unravel. She was up 2-0 in the first set and just 1 point away from going up 3-0 when this happened. Although viewers at home can clearly see that the ball was in, having just caught part of the line, this technology was new, and it was only available on the TV broadcast, not available in the arena or to the players and umpire yet. So Serena paused for a moment, looked confused because she knew that ball was in, but then she walked back to play the next point, until she hit a winner down the line that everyone in the stadium cheered for and the announcer celebrated, but then the umpire said that she lost that point too. Amazingly, it would happen again and again. And it was so bad that the announcers were yelling "no" as the call was made.
Oh, no.
The crowd was booing, and after the match, the umpire was fired. And then on top of that, the rules were officially changed so that the line call technology was used in the arena at all the major tournaments. But Serena still lost that match, and it could have been a defining moment for her. But of course it wasn't. She's still Serena. She still went on to win 17 more Grand Slams in her career. And that's what resilience is about. It's just about being you. No matter the outside factors, if a deal doesn't work out, if a video doesn't perform well, if you don't get the promotion you wanted at work, you're still you. And when you look at setbacks as part of the story that makes you you, that's when you start playing on easy mode.